Well, this should be fun. In today's video, I'm going to test a $280 camera versus a $5,000 one. Can you already tell which one is which? Is this gonna be a fair test? Of course not. But that's the point. A lot of people ask me on my channels what cameras to get. Is it worth spending the big bucks to get the good gear? And I'm trying to find the sweet spot of value and quality. So what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm going to compare the Canon M100. It's straight out of the box. It has the kit lens on it versus the Sony ZV-E1, which in Canada costs about $3,000 before tax, with the G Master 24mm f1.4 lens. Again, that lens is about $2,000, so this setup is well over $5,000, and this cost me $280 Canadian. So right now I've got my big light set up here. I've got a big window over there. I don't have anything else turned on. I'm gonna put on my studio lights here in the background, get into low lighting. I'll do some vlogging. I'll go in some different environments, and we can really see, is it worth all that extra money to have that shot that we're proud of, that we love, that we work so hard for? Or can you get away with just having something a little more basic, something easy? And now in my next video, I did pick this little bad boy up. This is the Sigma 16mm, which will fit on the Canon M100. This is an f1.4 lens. I'm very excited. So in my next video, I'll do the same thing, but with this lens instead of the kit lens. The reason I want to use the kit lens is because I just want to show people what kind of quality they can expect. Sometimes kit lenses aren't so bad. This kit lens is a 15 to 45 mil on a crop sensor, which is essentially a 24 to 70 on the full frame. So I'm gonna have it fully wide out at 15. It's almost equivalent to this 24 mil shot. Let's get started. Look at that background blur. That's the real difference. f1.4, f3.5. Few stops of light for you. Okay, while I'm setting up the background lights, I will want you to know that all the settings are on auto for right now. Auto white balance, auto ISO. I just have standard picture profiles on both. Let's turn on my new light tubes. Those are my new ones. I haven't set them up yet. I don't know where they're gonna go. U1, well, let's go purple. How are we looking so far? It's looking good. Let's darken the room. Blackout curtains. Let's change the colors a little bit. How about scene? Get some greens in there. Wow. My little M100, looking at it, looks pretty contrasty. My key light is set pretty much as low as it can go. How are the colors here? Let's look over here. I am shooting at 30 frames per second, just so you know. Wow, look at the skin color on the Canon. I find with these smaller sensors, they get kind of blown out very easily. So let's turn up the key light, see what happens. See what that auto ISO can do. Is it usable? I also find Sonys usually handle greens and blues very well. Canons, they like the purple more. They like the oranges and reds. Okay, well that's how it looks inside. Is this a usable talking head shot? Right now I am using my D3 Deity Pro mic, but I do have the audio turned on the camera, so this is what it sounds like right now if you're using the onboard. As I take these cameras outside, I will use the onboard on the Sony as well, just so we can compare what that sounds like. All right, I'll go run around, do some stuff, and then I will sum up at the end what I think about my experience using these cameras and after I've had a chance to look at the footage. Let's go somewhere else. Okay, yeah, look at the color on the Sony down here, and then the color on the Canon. All right, so this, I've got just standard stabe turned on, and they both have dynamic active stabes. Okay, let's go up to the lights. Let's go see some color. Well, that's a pretty picture in the background. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I've got it blurred bright out on the Sony 3.5. I guess it's a little more engaging to help people really see the place. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got these tripods. Look. I'm holding that one, and then I'm holding that guy here. This is an old Velbon one. This one's heavy. I'm gonna go stand by this bright window. How's the Canon doing? Is it hanging in there? Let's go outside. Okay, I'm gonna switch the stabes to dynamic, and we'll come right back. Okay, boom, there we go. So now let's stop back out into that sun. Yeah, the Sony adjusts real quick there. Okay, Canon is hanging in there. So, this is dynamic active stabe turned on with both of them. Let's do a double walk, you know, because walking with 2 tripods fully extended is easy. And then I'll just do them one at a time and we can compare them. How's the background looking? Oh, I got spider webs on my face. Oh, that sucks. Doing it all for science. Okay. All right, let's do them one at a time. I will do a similar loop. Oh. Okay, Canon, here we go. This is the dynamic active stabe on the Canon. How does the background look? Let's see. Is this watchable? Can people use this? All right, now this is with Sony. Dynamic active stabe, one of the big features on the Sony that I was really excited about. Makes the handheld stuff a little bit easier. But let's see how good it really looks compared to the little guys. You think the smaller sensor sizes seem easier to stabilize. Was there a real clear winner there? I've been having the Sony wide open at f1.4, but let's make it a little fair and bring it to the 3.5. Okay, there we go. This is the Sony at 3.5 versus the Canon at 3.5. The Canon autofocus has been pretty good. What does background blur look like at 3.5 on the aps-c? Here, let's make it the exact same distance. Bokeh test. Bokeh test. So this is as wide as it goes, as open as it goes on the Canon. This is the Sony, and let's, for fun, blow out the background, because we can. That's what you pay the money for. This is why this is a $5,000 setup versus a few $100. But how's it doing? Is it hanging in there pretty good? Let's go back inside and talk about usability. Okay, is it a contest? Can you still tell right away which is which? I have them both set to 3.5. Using the Canon over here, the screen looks brighter. It's very vivid. Even though it's older tech, this camera's from 2017, this camera is from 2023. The Canon screen, the flippy screen. Here, let's just look at it here. It's just nice to use. It's small and compact. I can do all the settings with one hand. I made a video about how I love having cameras where I can do everything. It has great touch screen. It's just such a good little starter camera. And look, all the little buttons, it's not very overwhelming. It doesn't have a ton of controls, but that's not a bad thing when you're starting out. I'm gonna go back to the f1.4 because that's what you really pay for in a setup like this. The thing is though, when you're starting out, you want to get good quality. But the most important part about this whole journey of starting YouTube, what I've realized is that the story is the most important. The content matters most. Can you get away with using a camera like this to tell your story and keep people engaged so that they don't click away thinking, oh man, that quality was so bad? Well, you tell me. Or is it worth the extra money? See, the thing is, when you get a beast of a camera like this, even though Sony has done a really good job about making it a very easy to use creator camera, there's still a lot of moving parts. And to get shots and be able to get quality like this consistently, it is tough. You still have to learn things. That's why I like to recommend for people just starting off, start off on a smaller camera, get to know it, work your way up, buy and sell used gear, and then once you know what you're doing, putting the money in. But yeah, this is what the difference looks like. This is just natural lighting. All right, I'm gonna go work on these files on my computer and then I'll give you my final thoughts. These tests are so fun to do. I love it. Hopefully it's been fun watching. To be fair to the Sony, I haven't been using any of the real big features. Right now, I am shooting in log, so hopefully the colors look really good. The auto white balance and everything on the Sony, looking at the footage, it looked a little green. I didn't edit it. In post, I did touch up the Canon a little bit more, trying to raise up the gain, as I wanted people to see that the M100 can look pretty good. Now this camera only shoots in 1080p, whereas this one obviously shoots in 4K. However, by the time you watch this, I will upscale this footage to 4K, so it should look a little sharper. Working on the footage on my computer, you can really notice the difference though in the files, the clarity and the sharpness. And this one, obviously the bokeh is just bananas, whereas this one looks a little more grainy, especially in the dark atmosphere. Back here, there's a lot more noise, etc. But that's not the point. The point is, when you're using a camera like this, when you're getting started with YouTube, how does it look? It's not too shabby. Obviously, I love using the Sony because I actually enjoy this as a hobby. I don't mind investing the money. But I think in my next video, when I put the Sigma on here and give this little aps-c body a fighting chance with a bigger, wider lens, that test is going to be a lot more interesting. But I always love seeing side-by-sides like this. And maybe in one of my future videos, I will compare this value one to a cell phone, because I think a lot of us want to know whether or not using your iPhone or your Android is good enough, or if it's worth picking up something like this for a few $100s. Anyway, what did you think? Were you surprised with them? Do you think you could watch my channel if all my videos looked just like this, shooting on an M100 with the kit lens? Or does it just make it a little nicer having the extra quality? Does the quality really make that much of a difference? Anyway, this video is probably getting pretty long. Let's talk about the results. Thank you very much for watching. When the video with the Sigma lens is up, I will compare it versus the Sony, and I'll put that video here, so check that one out. Otherwise, maybe watch this one next. I always appreciate the comments, the likes, the subs. It helps a small channel like mine really grow, so thank you if you're able to take the time and do that. We'll see you next time on the Sad Studio.